Hey, my name is Jean and this will be a little bit of a different video because lately I've been creating a lot of content about real estate, business and growth in general, so that got me thinking. Many people on the internet are saying that spending money in your 20s is a bad thing, and well, I have a different perspective on that. Quick disclaimer, I will also make a video about purchases in your 20s that are actually not smart, because don't get me wrong, you cannot be just running around and buying everything in your 20s since you are most likely not financially free yet, but well, that's a topic for another video. Okay, so let's start. And when I started my real estate journey, I didn't have a lot of money. What I had was passion and motivation. And real estate was not the only thing that I was passionate about. Another thing that I absolutely adored my whole life was cars. And this brings me to my very first thing that I do not regret spending money on. Okay, so number one, cars. And I have a funny story with my first car. So I think it was about month 6 or 7 of me doing real estate, and I didn't make too many sales in my first 4 months, but since month 5 or month 6 I've made 8 or 9 sales, and that actually netted me around $18,000 in commission. So I did a thing that every single responsible 20-year-old would do. I spent 16.5K on a car. So I spent 95% of my income on an Audi A5. And my logic behind this decision was pretty simple, because I was starting out in real estate. It was my month 7, so I didn't really have a income history, and banks wouldn't give me any loans to buy apartments, so I couldn't really invest in real estate. So that's why I've decided to put this money into a car. I think this was the best decision I have ever made, because, well, every single time I would get into my Audi, my motivation would go through the roof. I remember that I couldn't wait to get up in the morning. I couldn't wait to get into my car and drive to the office. I just couldn't wait to start working. I was so motivated. Well, but there is a catch. When I was buying a car, I told myself that if I will not make the same amount or more in the next 3 months, that I will sell the car because I will not deserve it. Well, that never happened, and I have purchased many cars ever since. So after Audi I got Lexus RC, AMG 63S, Porsche Panamera, Audi RS5, Jaguar F-Type. Well, now I'm driving a Jaguar F-Type and I absolutely love it. But I'm not saying this to brag, I'm saying this to tell you that, well, if something brings you a lot of motivation and you are passionate about something, do not listen to what people are saying. Do what you think will be the best. And well, if you are not buying these cars new, you are not actually losing that much money. All of my cars were 3 years old, so overall, from my 5 cars, I think I lost just a few $1,000s, so that's pretty much nothing. People lose way more on new Toyotas. Of course, you could say that not investing that money into assets actually costs you way more than the depreciation of the car, but well, not everything in life is about investments. If driving a nice car gives you so much motivation that you just want to work every single minute and you end up making a lot of money with that motivation, well, that's the best investment. Cars also connect you with other people. I mean, look, I was using this in one of our track days, and well, I've met tons of amazing people in that event. And that just brings me to my point that if you do something that you like, well then, everything falls into place. And now we come to the second purchase that I do not regret: expensive gym membership. Well, I always enjoyed working out, but since I started doing real estate, I decided to join the most expensive gym in our city. I was always thinking about it, and when I started doing real estate, I just thought that it was the right time. And the price of it, I think, was around $120 per month. And To just give you an example, a standard good gym would probably cost around $15 to $20 per month at the time. And as I've mentioned, since I always wanted to go to that gym, after making a few sales in real estate, I've decided that it was a good time to make the switch and actually get the membership. And well, I had a few more reasons for it. Well, first of all, of course, the equipment in that gym was amazing and I really enjoyed working out there. But another reason was, well, since it was the most expensive gym in the city, all of the most successful people would go there. And when you surround yourself with people who are doing something with their lives, with people who are motivated, your social circle becomes very interesting and you actually start growing as a person yourself. I wasn't being annoying, but when you are working out with the same people every single day, connections happen naturally. And I actually managed to get a few listings from people who were working out in the gym. And if I remember correctly, I made like 2 or 3 sales. It would be like 10 years worth of membership. So it's safe to say that making the switch and actually going to that gym was a great investment and it made me money. Third purchase that I do not regret is, well, surprise, surprise, traveling. I mean, in the first 2 years of my career, I think I didn't leave the country. I didn't have any vacations. And I think that was a mistake because ever since I started traveling, my motivation has reached new heights. And that's pretty self-explanatory. Traveling, it makes you see new cultures, it gets you to places where people are way more successful than you are, so that motivates you. It also makes your mind a lot wealthier because you usually come back with ideas. And well, the easiest reason is you just come back more relaxed because you actually stop working for a week and you can think, and when you come back you actually have a clear head, which leads to better decisions in your business. There is actually a great saying, the whole world is a book, and if you are not traveling, you are only reading the first page. And you shouldn't do it. It doesn't seem smart, right? Who would only read the first page? So the next time you have a chance, just book that trip and go on a vacation, go explore the world, do something. Trust me, the money you spend will come back multiple times. And this brings me to number 4, which is gifts to family. And this is as obvious as it gets. And this purchase, you shouldn't be looking for anything in return because you only have one family and making them happy should be your main priority. And what I mean by gifts to family, well, it doesn't need to be expensive gifts. You do not need to buy cars and houses. All you need to do is show attention and show that you care. Let me give you an example. So recently my mother told me that she would like to go to Spain. So I bought her a trip to Spain. And well, it's not the most expensive gift, right? But the reaction I got from her, it was priceless. And I would do it again and again and again because that's the best investment. Seeing your family happy is the best thing that you could ever do with your money. And this brings me to my last purchase. Well, it's not really a purchase because I'm renting my apartment, and that's the 5th thing that I believe spending money on is very smart. A lot of people on the internet nowadays are talking that you have to live below your means, that you shouldn't be spending money on rent and all these kinds of things. But well, as you know me, I look at most things from a motivational perspective. And if having a nice place to live, a nice place to work at motivates me, I think that's not spending money, that's investing money. And just a reminder, I do own real estate properties, but well, at the moment, the one I'm living in, I'm renting, and I think that's a very good decision. Okay, so now let's run through the advantages of renting a nice place. And the first one is that my motivation is at an all-time high. I have never felt this motivated in my life. Well, maybe at the start of my real estate career, but that's normal, and now I just feel like a new person since I moved in. And well, as it makes me motivated, also it's much easier for me to focus here because I just like the aura. I know that some people do not believe in it, but well, I feel great when I'm here, and that's very important. And lastly, since I'm producing a lot of content nowadays, this apartment, it's like a studio. It's big, it's beautiful, it's amazing, and it just helps me film a lot of content because there are plenty of places here that we can use in our videos. So, long story short, spending money in your 20s is not a bad thing. But what you need to do is make sure that you are getting some kind of value out of it, whether it is emotional or financial, but it has to be one of those two things. So just one more reminder, if you are going to buy something, if you are going to spend money, just spend some time thinking what kind of value will it bring you, and if you actually decide that it's smart and that you really want it, go ahead and buy it. Do not listen to people who tell you that you need to spend $5 per month. I have always been saying that you need to focus on earning more money rather than spending less. And I'm not saying that you need to waste money, but once you focus on earning more, it's always easier to reduce your expenses. And also this way you will feel the fruits of your labor, because if you are doing business, you're making a lot of money and you are not buying anything for yourself, usually your motivation fades. And fading motivation in business means only one thing: a reduced income. But when you spend money on yourself, when you maintain your happiness, your business results also usually and gradually go up. And that's very important. And that's actually the key of spending money, because when expensive purchases give you motivation to try harder, they are no longer expensive purchases. These are investments to your happiness and to your business. And that's basically it. If you really want something and you can afford it, go get it. Just make sure to work very hard afterwards.